Welcome to another Headless's Magical Mailbag. I got my partner Nick with me tonight. Nick, go ahead and say hi and tell
What
him
is
what's up.
up? What is going on? Yeah. Got oh man, I don't have any of the stickers in front of me. I was gonna promote the stickers to send in I got free stickers, the bitch on the seashell. You know the deal. Yeah, I got free stickers if people want. Yo, Winter York. Next time since you sent in like, fuck ton. A bunch of emails just recently. Send your I know I've sent you stickers before, I think actually. Send me your information, I'll send you out more. But yeah, we got free stickers for people who want to send stories in. We got a bunch of events. Yeah, I want to check those out. We got a couple of them coming up. October 4th, we're going to be in Franklin, North Carolina. October 18th, Charlie's Beyond Belief at Fort Myers in Florida at a Freemasonic Lodge, booth number 33. What's up? I had to grab it, especially when they gave you the choice for booths. But yo, you know what the thing is? Even strategically, if you were to look at the map before you walk into the room that has all the booths, one is against the wall and 33 is across from it. So they actually will see my booth before, like one of the first ones as they're walking in. So strategically, I was like, oh, this works. So, all right, we got booth 23.
All they got to do is look directly behind you, and they'll see exactly where you're going to be at because you've got that big mural behind you.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah. They'll see that. Yeah, there you go. You'll see that wherever we're at. But yeah, we got a bunch of other places. They're listed in the show notes. I'll be promoting them more as we get closer to them specifically. But yeah, we got one coming up October 4th in Franklin, North Carolina. Me and Tyrone, I don't know, maybe some other rejects might be there. Who the fuck knows? But come down. It'll be cheap. And yeah, so even if the speakers suck, you still got to kick it with us for like $10 or $15 for the whole day. Or if you don't like us, you can come down and talk shit for $10, $15. So there you go. Oh, we got t-shirts. Yeah, we got t-shirts. We'll have t-shirts. Yeah. Well, I'll be totally honest with you. If you want the t-shirts, but you're going to be able to make one of the events, come down to the event. It'll be cheaper because there's no shipping involved. But if we want t-shirts, we got t-shirts at $25 a piece shipped. We got the seashell chick, and we got the silent rainbow with the skull and the cross arms and all that shit. So, yeah, come check it out. So, it should be fun.
Ooh,
that's right. And Headless is going to try to get us some of his art, too. I forgot all about that.
I got to send this to you. So, I have my painting here that you can buy if you email me. I can also do trades, but I got to send a bunch of these to you there, Nick, so that you can bring these out. That would be interesting. But yeah, I got this one, and I got this one. So if you want to print, if you like my paintings, go ahead and email me, and we will figure something else out. So that is going to be at headlessgiantpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll see. I mean, we might be able to set up a trade, right? So if you've got a nice story or if you want to come on and, we can work something out, email me at theheadlessgiantpodcast.com and we can get these beauties out to you. And they're nice quality cardstock, really hardy. So email me.
Do you take green buds?
No. I might. If you live in a state that has flavored vapes still, we can work something out.
We can barter.
Yeah, because they just banned them in Wisconsin. And so I went back to smoking.
North Carolina. I wonder if it is like that here. I have to look that up.
But I'm going to send a bunch out to Nick, and you'll go to the events, and you'll be at the table.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. Let's see, Nick, do you have your symbol ready?
Yes, I think I do, sir. Yes, I got. You got to pull it up.
All right.
That's what I find interesting because it does go by a couple of different names. Crowley, I think, is even like reused it or rebranded it or whatever.
I'm not seeing it down below. Is that?
Let me try. Oh, you know what? Maybe I never. You know what? I never put it as a share screen. Fuck, my bad. I just pulled up the video. There we go.
All right.
Apologize for this.
All right.
So here we go. This is a rare Greco-Egyptian sigil. I'm probably screwing this up. Chnoubis or Nubis, Chnoubis. It's an antique amulet. You'll see a coiled serpent with a lion's head crowned by 6 or 7 sun rays. Many pieces also carry a compact, which I'll show it later, where it's like on the reverse side. It's kind of like a smaller, condensed version, I guess, if you don't have a big enough piece or wasn't that elaborate. Where it has 3 S-shaped strokes over a horizontal line. And that is known by curators as the sign of Chnoubis. Chnoubis appears on Greco-Roman magical gemstones, often green jasper or carnelian, from about the 2nd to 3rd century CE in areas stretching across Roman Egypt and the eastern Mediterranean. Museums, again, this is coming from museums, hold dated examples from this period, 2nd to 3rd century, carnelian at the Met, and there's multiple late Roman pieces at the British Museum. A learned ancient tradition was attributed to the legendary astrologer and king and Chespos, and he even prescribes the engraving as a radiant serpent on green jasper for stomach and esophageal protection. So he would prescribe this sigil for that. Where it's been found and seen, archaeology has turned up Chnoubis gems and related pieces from Egypt to Levant and further. A published amulet from Del Tor in Israel puts it in the Syro-Palestinian record. There's also museum collections in London, Cambridge, Boston, Budapest, and Ann Arbor. What it meant, anciently, scholars read Chnoubis, or however you say his name, as a syncretic, like solar healing power, the lion, solar force, fused with the serpent, which is was looked at as protective, or an Agatha diamond, if I'm saying that right. The name itself likely influenced the Egyptian creator. This is what they think, that it influenced Egyptian creator god Khnum, Khnum. The imagery is frequently ringed by stars and crescents and paired with healing deities. Sometimes, Headless's boys over here, Asclepius and Hygeia, underlining medical protection and function. Some of the inscriptions often carry medical names and variants of Chnoubis, however it's written. And again, what people did with ancient writers and exhibitions notes explain that these were worn on the body, ideally near the stomach. There's even something else I did a few weeks ago. They were putting stuff on the stomach. And it was set in rings or lockets. Many pieces explicitly target stomach and esophagus pains. Some amulets even spell this out with digestive formulas and palindromic spells around the image. That's interesting. Do it in palindrome. And again, sigils a lot of times would be green jasper is a classic, but carnelian, rock crystal, or hematite sometimes, and it would be carved into that. Again, a lion or the serpent with 6 or 7 rays, often a star and a crescent in the field. And then I will show this picture. This is what sometimes it looked like. Oops, wrong one. Look like this. Sometimes the 3 S's above the line. It will look like that. But yeah, that's all I got on that one.
That is really interesting. So stomach and esophagus, and it kind of looks like an esophagus as well, right? So if you go back to the other one, if you imagine that tube,
yeah,
in the esophagus coming out to the mouth, and you see the stomach as well down at the bottom,
small intestines,
right?
I got a bigger loop and a small loop.
Right. So the medical applications are interesting to me. So a lot of medical magic was completely lost by the 1st century. And so these amulets would be prescribed by a doctor, right? That's kind of a different way of seeing medicine if you think about it. Here you go. Just wear this amulet and it's going to heal your stomach and your esophageal problems. And I don't know. I mean, it might work. I won't knock until I try it,
There you go, sir.
But That's an interesting theory of how to do magic and what it's related to. But you see the figure eight down below. I think that's very reminiscent of the satanic cross. So the
Oh,
satanic cross is like the two, and then you've got the figure eight at the bottom.
yeah, that is interesting.
But man, the Chnoubis comes up over and over and over again. People are even having sightings of this creature today, like coming through their ceiling and stuff. Yeah. Like
Oh,
this is
fuck.
actually very common.
Fuck.
So yeah. And it's associated with the Braxis as well. It's funny that they didn't mention that in the breakdown there. You know, it's the lion and the snake is sort of like that Abraxas symbol as well. And then you add the rooster symbolism as well, and you've got the snakes for the tails. It's Erechthonian. So Erechthonius was the first king of Athens, right? First king of Athens, and he had snakes' tails for legs. And it was a weird combination of Athena and Hephaestus that created Erechthonius. And Athena just said, I'm going to take care of this weird little creature, and then raised it to be the first king of Athens. Because Athena was a lot like the Spiritus Loci for Athens, like Athena, Athens, that's sort of her territory. And it goes back to the founding mythology of Athens. And so you've kind of got this Erechthonian thing going on with these serpent legs. And again, the lion is kind of like the king. So it's the king and the serpent legs, even repeated into ancient Greek mythology. So I love that symbol. There's just so many applications, and people don't even see how many there are, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was because like again, I mean, I've seen it called so many different names before, and it was just a different way of looking at it. You know, if I would have looked up Abraxas, I might have gotten a different story.
Right.
All
Right.
right, so we're gonna move on to the oak.
Oak. So this is what I'm bringing. I got oak leaves, oak clusters of acorns. The oak tree has been sacred to numerous deities across the various European mythologies. In ancient Greece, it was sacred tree of Zeus, the king of the gods. And in ancient Rome, it was associated with Jupiter, the supreme deity. The Celts revered the oak as the holy tree of Dagda, one of their highest gods. And the Druids, who are often priests and philosophers, considered the oak a symbol of their connection to the divine, with the word druid possibly deriving from a Celt term meaning however knower of the oak tree. In Norse mythology, the oak was sacred to Thor, the god of thunder and war, reflecting its association with the power and lightning. Similarly, in Slavic mythology, the oak was linked to Perun, the thunder god, and in Baltic traditions, it was considered the sacred tree of the thunder god who used thunder to combat evil spirits. But again, it's like this thunder over and over again, having to do with the oak, having to do with majesty, having to do with like the head god. This widespread reverence for the oak as a divine symbol is further underscored by its association with the world tree in some traditions, where the deep roots and towering branches seen as connecting the underworld to the living world and the heavens. And you see oak tree clusters in the army still. They have, oak tree as one of the symbols that are common to the ribbons, right? And so you've got oak tree clusters for different, I believe it's units. So the unit patches will have oak tree clusters and everything else, very much associated with Class A regalia. So you've got Class A baubles that have the oak leaf on it and everything else, but they're still using the symbol, I mean, and all of this military history, you've got so many different symbols that go straight back to ancient Greece, one of which being the Phrygian cap. So Phrygia was supposed to be over in Thrace, and Thrace is supposed to be even older than the Egyptians, and they're still using the cap on the seal of the army. So all of these symbols that we see being used today by the Americans in their military pursuits goes straight back to Thrace, like 5,000 years of history. So that's really interesting to me. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know much about that whole thing with the Oaks, but I was actually thinking right now how many signs. I'm actually was running it through ChatGPT. How many maps and like signs I have noticed? Not maps, flags. They always have like these oak, fucking these oak leaves on them. Like that is common actually, and I never really thought of it. Like I don't.
Well, if you want to get to know the highest gods in these pantheons, get to know the oak tree, because there's somehow an association or a communication that goes on between the plants, animals, and symbols sacred to these gods and the gods themselves. So being around them, looking for signs, using your intuition, trying to talk with the tree, trying to get in touch with that is a good way of going about a better understanding of these deeper esoteric meanings. And so, that's what the druids would do, right? So the high priests would hang out around these oak trees. You've also got the parasite that grows up in these trees being sacred as well. So that's the oh, help me out. What's it called? It's got little white berries, and it's a little plant that you hang from the ceiling and then you kiss under it. Mistletoe. There we go.
Yeah. I was even thinking too with the acorns. It's very much reminds me a lot of the eyeball. I mean, of course, I'm going to go back to the eyeball, but the way it's like it even has a little bump on the end, and at the back, I mean, your optic nerve does bend back like that and goes into your head. So, I mean, it's very much. I mean, your eyeball really, it's very much like an acorn in a sense,
right? And it would make sense that that's associated with one of the highest gods, especially since perception and these gods are very much linked together.
Yeah.
All right. So I got an email. I got several emails from Winter York, and we're going to have to do a different sections because they're long. So this is from Winter. Hi, Headless, and hi, Nick. I finally found the time to write again, considering my busy schedule. I don't want to make this too long, so I'll try and put a break in spots as it is. This is about a journey I didn't want to take, but I found myself on it, and maybe I can help someone navigate. Oh, there we go. Let's see. If they find themselves on the same path and lost. I'll start out with what I see now as a foreshadowing of things to come. When I was about 4 or 5 years old, I had a number of strange dreams that a child shouldn't have had, and a complete inability to comprehend the symbology of it. Remember my age as I explained this. Dream one, I went out into the woods into the backyard of New Hampshire where I grew up and found a strange stick. I brought it in the house, and it could write on the walls in wet ash and couldn't run out. I started writing strange symbols on the walls, and then the dream jumped forward to me standing back, looking at the geometric and circular symbols in rows from the floor to the ceiling. At that moment, my grandmother walked in and said, "You just opened something you can't close, and now you have to burn the house down." At that, I got the feeling in my chest that was like pure terror, that hard pang of absolute fear. Let me see. I looked at her and I asked in a terrified voice because I knew I had done something awful and asked, "But can we rebuild it?" Next thing in this dream, I was out in the living room and my mom was sitting and sobbing in front of the unlit fireplace, which also had an enormous terracotta owl next to it, which may or may not mean anything, right? Minerva.
Yeah. Twin Peaks. It's turned into a Twin
Yep.
Peaks episode.
She was crying over a boyfriend or a breakup, but she didn't seem to see me as she didn't respond to me. Then I woke up. Studying this stuff now, the stick would represent the earth, air, fire, and water. The symbols I learned were alchemical because I saw alchemical symbols as I got older and realized that's what I wrote on the wall in my dream, but I didn't make much sense to me. I wasn't studying the occult at that point, the fact that the message in the dream of opening something that I can't close, burning the house down to rebuild, now that the purification through fire, transformation, rebuilding, and the part about my mom crying in front of the fireplace, not seeing me, crying over men. Well, I was raised by grandparents because she was out partying and running through boyfriends. What I didn't know until last year was before she had me, she was gang-ard in a van in the most horrific way and had an abortion from it. And she had multiple abortions after that. And she admitted she wanted to punish every man she could because of what happened to her. The only reason I'm alive is my dad didn't believe in abortion, but she couldn't see me in the dream, much like the reality in the fireplace was unlit and cold in that dream. No spark, which is also next to the giant terracotta owl. Very Lilith energy, in my opinion. Wow. That mom sounds like, she has the experience and then turns into kind of a Lilithian energy. The only reason I say that the owl showed up later in life is right before shit hit the fan. The not dream. The next day, strange and significant experience I had was I had sleep paralysis. One was me waking up with a weight so heavy on my chest I couldn't breathe, and a guy that looked like he was made of green plasma, that looked exactly like the logo of the green giant frozen peas. It was 3 feet tall and stomping on my chest. I thought I was going to die, and I couldn't hear the sound of the TV and my grandparents talking to each other from the den, and could see the light in the hallway, but I couldn't make out the sound. It was terrifying. I must have passed out after that, as I am not dead, lol. And I was wondering if the green man energy or pan or just a strange coincidence. Third, not dream. I would get scared sleeping alone in my room and would get out of bed in the middle of the night and go to my grandparents' room and climb between them to sleep. One night I woke up and was off the bed, not on the side, but literally above the bed, levitated. I
Oh,
couldn't move, scream, or anything, and I could hear my grandpa snoring and my grandma's breathing, but I was frozen about 3 to 4 feet off the bed. This is so vivid to me that I remember the pajamas I was wearing because I could see the little pastel purple from an animal print on my chest. As I was terrified, a female voice spoke. I couldn't see what was speaking, and it was telepathic. It said, "Don't be scared. We aren't going to hurt you." There was also a male presence, but it felt more distant. That's all I remember from that night. But the next day, I was playing in the living room by myself, and it's like I forgot what happened the prior night. And then I looked up at my grandparents' old rotary phone and suddenly remembered. And a strange thing was that it was like my brain had a script that kicked in. I can't explain it well. So I'm looking up at the rotary phone, and it triggered a memory to come back and in my mind, as if on a track, didn't put their thought. They told me that they were angels, but if they are angels, why would I be scared? I was looking up at this phone, and I couldn't have been older than 5 at this point, possibly 6, but no older than that. After this, I had a sudden fear of running out of resources. I was terrified of wasting water, hearing an engine run, and not being used drove me nuts, and the biggest change was the fear of insects and the sound of buzzing driving me to terror. Now, the phone is a symbol of communication. The thing, while the buzzing, I'm still trying to figure out. I know when I started actively meditating a few years ago, I started hearing buzzing sounds as if bees were flying around me. I'm wondering that if this had to do with that state of consciousness I was accidentally dropping into. Mind you, nothing this extreme happened again into my early 30s. I tried to tell my grandparents and my mom, and I was ignored, so I brushed it aside for decades. What I think happened, my best guess, is that when I would cry for my mom who wasn't around, cry for a normal family, something answered. I remembered trying to talk to God and ask if my parents would be together and be with them, and nothing answered. So I asked for anything to help me. I didn't know what that would even mean. Something did apparently. Maybe played under my great grandma's old oak tree.
Oh, sure.
Among the mushrooms too much. I don't know. I'm going to send a second part in the email tomorrow, as this took longer to write than I thought. Thank you so much, Winter. And I hit the oak tree without ever even reading your email.
Sure.
Just saying.
Funny
what
shit.
are your thoughts? Right.
Fucking weird dream.
The buzzing.
The buzzing. I find that weird.
I hear a lot of reports of astral projection. They get this strong sense of buzzing in their head before they leave the body, right? So, they have this physical projection experience, kind of like hovering over the bed, and she can't move because she might be probably still attached to her body somehow. It's really hard to move around when you're still kind of attached to your body. And the buzzing sensation would definitely go along with that. And the voices too. I mean, if you're crying out for something to come and talk to you, especially as a child, something's going to be coming out to talk to you. So,
yeah, right. So, or sometimes I even wonder, like, if you even created yourself asking for it,
right?
Oh yeah.
But it's for a child to feel that buzzing and then go outside of the body and then make that association with the telephone and with bugs. It could be a terrifying experience that you don't fully remember. So going outside of the body, having that buzzing sensation, not being able to move around, yeah, I can see why that would bring up that sort of sensation with the bugs and everything. But this was a very interesting email, and we've got more from Winter York, so tune in next time.
That's right. Yeah, we could use that. We could use the other one for next week.
Hell yeah. These are great. I mean, they all sort of mesh together, and the first one with the alchemical symbols, right? That she's drawing on the inside of this house, and they're like, you're opening a portal that you can't close. That's interesting. What do these alchemical symbols have to do with a portal? And she was talking about the purifying fire, which is also very alchemical. Yeah. And having that strong association there seems kind of relevant.
A lot of alchemists all talk about that, the purification by fire.
Right. Calcinatio. Maybe next time I'll pull out some of the alchemy books and go over some of the symbols in there. It'd be easier than actually downloading pictures off the internet and trying to use those for the show.
Yeah, right. Yo, at 9:00, Robbie Marks, we got coming on tonight. So people still listen. People are listening now. You can jump over at 9:00. We got Robbie Marks coming on to cover Adonis. Should be a few of us there from the Rejects. So that should be
right.
Fun.
And this is a continuation of some of his other stuff. So if you're into his work on Kybali and Addis, Adonis is right in that mix.
Yeah, that's exactly why he's doing it. You're right.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, this has been good. We're right at 30 minutes, guys. Share the show. Hit that like button. It's free.
Send in your stories and I'll send you some fucking stickers.
Right. And if you're interested in some of these prints, definitely send me a message at the Headless Giant Podcast at gmail.com and we can get these set up to you. So I ain't buying a website for it. Sorry.
Yeah. That would have to sell to make the money back for the website. Fuck that.
Right.
Yeah.
Too much of a markup. So if you're interested in some of my artwork, just email me and we'll set something up. So I'll let you know how much it's going to be with shipping and everything else, or if we can make a trade.
Yeah. Real quick, what age was Winter in that email? I mean, in that dream, did she mention?
Yeah, these were about 5 to 6 years old. So she had no idea that these were like deeper symbols until much later.
Okay. No, I just wondering. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Really formative time in a person's life. So you could see how these dreams would be very important to the rest of her life. And she didn't think about it again until 30s. So it's kind of a disconnect there. So next time, if you want to, send me your emails at the Headless Giant Podcast at gmail.com, and we will get those stories up and the stickers and posters out to you. So check that out. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next time. Later.